Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and we have an update because of my own, I guess you could say, mistakes or unclarity, inclarity, non-clarity. So as you can see from the title, we are going to be talking about interspecies reviewers and specifically whether or not I'm continuing because I was not clear at all. I feel in my actual first impressions there. Um, and a lot of people seem to automatically think I was just like saying no, we're not continuing this. I, and I think that's on me. I think I made it seem that way. I think I was wording it wrong. And what I was trying to say is that I wasn't sure if I can continue reacting to it because I was worried about the fact that it is a hardcore ecchi and the fact that it does have a lot of adult content, to put it simply. I was worried that the site I use at this point, Breach, to redirect to, wouldn't be okay with it. But so far, it seems like it is. So far, it seems like I haven't had an issue with it. Um, and I want to make it clear that I didn't dislike much about the first episode. The only thing that I really disliked was the fact that Stunk was gross as a character. But it's like I didn't really expect much different. Because the thing is, I've watched plenty of hentai. And just porn in general. And I've seen a lot worse than this. I've seen characters in hentai who are absolute scumbags. And there's actually been hentai that, despite being like, hot, I've turned off because it actually turned me off by how bad those characters were. By how absolutely shitty they were. And not just characters necessarily, but the general plot too can be just like so gross and disgusting. But the thing is, this really isn't. Like there's some things you could say about the fact that they're rating women by their sexual prowess. It's like, but I believe I kind of said it back then. They're sex workers who are open to that because they're also part succubi. And they are very clearly shown in the episode to be okay with being seen as sexual and everything. They don't have an issue with that. So it's kind of one of those situations where it's like they're not really insulting them. In fact, they're in a lot of ways just sharing their thoughts. It comes across as just someone saying like, oh, this is why I find this person hot or this character hot, and this is why I find this character not so much. It's just people sharing their tastes, and the format of it, doing that little panel thing, if that's what they're going to continue to do, that's fun. I like the format because it's like they share just their thoughts. Like, this is not my type. I don't find this attractive. I find there to be issues with this. Like the one dude, it's like, I was being crushed under the weight of those tentacles. It was painful for me. It's like I wasn't enjoying the experience. It's like, that's reasonable. That's a reasonable complaint. That's a reasonable issue. And it's like, and some of the stuff, like some of the compliments and all, it's like, oh, they're very sensitive and very submissive. It's like there's nothing inherently wrong with that. That's not like that's not gross to say. They're just saying like, oh, that's just how they tend to be in terms of sexual intercourse. And it's like, okay. And as I made clear there, as I stated in the reaction and everything, I don't mind this kind of content. Like I've said, I watch porn, I watch hentai. It's like I'm not afraid of sex. I'm perfectly fine with it. In fact, I like at least the idea of it, because I haven't had it in real life, but I like that kind of stuff. Sue me. I'm a person, and I'm not asexual. Even if I used to think I was because of trauma, mostly. Um, but yeah, it's like I'm. That's not an issue. My biggest issue with this was uploading it. I was scared that it would cause issues or that it could cause problems with breach with the website. That was my biggest worry, and I feel like I didn't get that across well enough in the actual first impressions video. And I'm obviously saying all of this to make it clear now. We are continuing with this. Unless something happens to where it does stop us from continuing, like if Breach does start taking them down, we are going to be continuing. Because I am actually interested in seeing more. And again, I've seen like what certain characters look like and everything through a couple screenshots, or through just straight up hentai art. So it's like I know about what certain species tend to look like and stuff. Like I know about the hyena girl, for example. I know about her. But it's like, at the same time, I don't know like exactly what's going to happen. And it seems like there might even be some genuine other content to it too, other than just the sexual stuff. Like we saw them fight a monster who is attacking Krim, or I guess it's technically supposed to be pronounced cream, like for obvious reasons. I feel, I don't know, Krim sounds better to me. Like with the spelled CRIM, I could see how it could be pronounced cream, but I don't know, it feels weird to call him cream. Is that just me? Maybe I'll see how it's pronounced by the VAs in the next episode. But yeah, this is definitely something I will be continuing. I just wasn't sure last time, and there were the hang-ups I did have about, about Stunk being kind of shitty. But I think, again, it's hentai, and as long as they're not too bad, I think I can handle it. Well, it's not full hentai. It's hard ecchi, but still. I think I can live with it. I'm not like trying to idolize the character or anything. I'm not trying to see him as like an inspiration or someone to look up to. I see him as a character. It's because I've seen plenty of anime where there's been bad characters. I mean, Death Note, the main character is an absolute psychopath. So it's like, but I love that series. So, yeah. I think I'll be good to handle that. But yeah, I'm very interested to see more of this, and hopefully we don't have any issues. Hopefully we don't. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I wanted to make this update video to kind of clear things up with that, because I worded things wrong in that initial first impressions reaction, and I very much made it seem like I wasn't going to be continuing, when that wasn't entirely the intent. I was just unsure if I would be continuing at the time, and especially if I could even continue at the time. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't prepared, I guess, to give a more direct statement, a more direct conclusion to that. But now I am. Again, we don't seem to have had any issues with the first episode's upload. And maybe that is because it is uploaded as being not private, but unlisted. So it's like no one can just stumble upon it. The only way to see it is by following the link, which is on a video that is very clearly advertising what it is, so people can't just stumble upon it just randomly. So I hopefully it should be fine. Hopefully. But yeah, obviously, if anything changes with that, either before we get to anything more or even after the fact, then we can adjust for that then. But yeah, it will be added to the list for future first impression continuations, and we will be continuing it at some point. I don't know exactly when. I don't really have like an order for the first impression continuations. It's just when I decide to get to whichever one on there is when I get to it. It's as simple as that. I just decide kind of on the fly depending on what I'm in the mood for once a spot opens up for it. But yeah, so I just wanted to make this clear that we are actually continuing it. That I worded things wrong, that I just wasn't sure, and at the time wasn't sure we even could continue and didn't think we would because of that. But we are. So wanted to make that clear, wanted to make this video quickly to let you know. And for now, yeah, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.